Media is a platform of opportunities, so many people say, but cyber attacks in Cameroon have surged dramatically with about 334,000 security breach exploits recorded in 2024, a staggering 91% increase compared to the previous year. The findings were revealed by cybersecurity firm Kaspersky during a cybersecurity awareness conference organized recently in the towns of Yaoundé and Douala. This highlights growing vulnerabilities in the country's digital landscape, particularly targeting remote access systems and sensitive government and business networks. There are reports of nude pictures shared here and there, witchcraft practices, initiations online, bullying, child prostitution, and a majority of people involved in these cyber crimes are the youths. That's why we shall be discussing today under the theme Social Media, Platform for Opportunities or Breeding Ground for Deviance. Our guests are Professor Jerry YONGA, Dean of Information Communications and Computer Engineering, Yaoundé International Business School, YIBS. Professor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. MOKI.
It's a long time you were here.
Yes,
yeah.
Almost 3 years.
You left and you went back to the U.S.
I went back to the United States and I'm back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And another portfolio now, another...
Yes, I'm currently at the Yaoundé International Business School to continue my journey of impacting knowledge to our young people.
Okay, thank you. The last time you were here, you were with the ICT University.
Correct.
Thanks for coming, Professor.
My pleasure.
Ernest AKUOFOU is Coordinator of Public Relations and Corporations at ICT University. Ernest, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Moki. It's been a pleasure. It's always been a pleasure being on this panel to talk topical issues. I wanted to say good evening to viewers out there and to my co-panelists. And
ICT University, training young ones. And
yes, the ICT University, the University of Innovation, the university where the young ones, they come and they create jobs and not seek for jobs when they leave the place. So I just think that the topic is very tying with what we do at the ICT University because you see, social media, you cannot talk social media without talking information and communication technology. The two both go hand in glove. So I just think that within the course of the program, we're going to elaborate on that.
KIMBI Emelda NCHITU is Vice Principal of GBPHS Yaoundé. Madam, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Edwin.
The last time I heard about you, you were in Limbe or Boya?
Boya.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
How many years have you been here in Yaoundé?
This is my 4th year.
Oh, I'm outdated in my information. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Nalionge Maxmillianus Ewoko is Educationist Researcher Principal. He's a man, when they say your name, they say they're ready to listen to you because we have known you to be having insightful information they want to listen to when this program is on. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. MOKI. Thank you for having me, and I'm very glad hearing this. I extend my greetings to my co-panelists and our televiewers who are always glued to this our wonderful program. We hope that we are going to quench their epistemic test today on this pertaining and important or actual topic.
This is Twilight. This is CTV News. I am MOKI. Edwin, KINDZEKA in Yaoundé. I'll be right back. I think Professor Jerry YONGA, let's start by understanding what these social media platforms we're talking about are.
So to talk about social media platforms, we got to start with the internet. The internet is the road, and social media are the vehicles that travel on the road. And like all technology advances we've seen since 1983, which is when I started in technology, these platforms have evolved, and today we have platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube, and the list goes on and on. And our young people are addicted to it because it gives them opportunities to socialize, to do business, to educate themselves about different topics, and also to change the way we see communications. So that's the good side of social media with these platforms. On the other side of it is where the scams, the fake news, the 419s, and all the negative things that comes with a very massive platform. So if you take a platform like Facebook with over billions of users, or WhatsApp, same number, you'll be assured that there will be some nefarious characters. And my role as a cybersecurity professional is to find ways to ensure that we navigate the social media safely, securely, and confidentially.
To get more information, why were these platforms developed, Professor? Were they developed for crime or for development?
These platforms were evolved as a result of us creating the freeway of information superhighway, which is the internet. As soon as we created the internet, there was this need for people to start connecting globally. And so you saw Google come into the play in 1996. We've seen WhatsApp right after that, and Facebook, and the list goes on, like I said. But they were created for people to have a way to message. I recall my early days in the United States to send a letter to my family back home. It took almost 6 months for them to receive the letter. Now with platforms like WhatsApp, it's instant and it's 24/7. So it provides us that chance for us to communicate and to learn. You can get a master's, PhD online through social media without leaving your bedroom.
Ernest AKUOFOU, do you have something to add to what Professor is just telling us why these platforms were developed?
Yeah, I think I'll start by thanking Prof for for laying the premise. You see, with an evolving society, there is always the need for innovation. Yes, because as he said, formerly people communicated through the letters, but progressively things had to change. You had the telegrams, you had the telephones and all the like. But as the world is evolving, there is the need for innovation, for creation. So the social media just came in, as he did say, to facilitate life. You see, people needed to... the world has suddenly become global, like a small village or your household. As he rightly said, in your bedroom, you can do everything from your bedroom without stepping out of your door. So this is very important. And you see, social media is... Well, I may be starting from the end. It's a necessary evil. Yeah, because today, if we're talking about what we're going to discuss here about the social media, if it didn't come, we wouldn't have known that there are some ills in the society. So I want to think that some people who feel hurt about the social media are people who have skeletons in their cupboards.
We'll get there. Mrs. KIMBI, Emelda, and NCHITU, what are some of the platforms commonly used by the young ones? Because we're talking about a majority of people who use these ICTs are young ones. What are some of the platforms that you've seen in your school? The school come from Government Bilingual Practicing High School, Yaoundé, where the ones that youths there, students use frequently.
Thank you very much, Mr. MOKI, for coming back to me to ask about the commonly used platforms of social media by students, where the youths. We have, first of all, the WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, we have Instagram and others, but most of the social media platforms that students use are the WhatsApp and the Facebook. You know, WhatsApp is one of the platforms that we encourage students to use because with the advent of digitalization in education, we, the teachers, we give students assignments through the WhatsApp groups to do the assignments. We also, during the COVID-19, realized that we had to do distance education. So students had to stay at home. So we had to introduce them to the social media. We even ask them to use their parents' phones. And so we teach them sometimes from home. And we realize that the students are actually one of the most used social media platform is a WhatsApp. But, you know, youths, they like to discover things. They go ahead to subscribe to WhatsApp, to Facebook, to Instagram, and then to TikTok. So you see some of them. You are surprised with your student singing and dancing in TikTok and all of those kind of things. So
we're going to talk about the advantages, but let's start, since we are concentrating more on the abuses.
Yes.
Nalionge, what are some of the abuses you've observed? I mean, with these social media platforms that are challenging the reasons why they were created?
Yes, we cannot deny the fact that a coin has always got two sides. And as a coin has got two sides, as Prof said, everything that comes into existence for a positive reason. But along the line, within time and space, it witnesses or embraces other deviations. And most of the challenges we have observed in this in the contemporary period, it comes from the type or the category of social media platform that interests the youth or the users, because social media platforms are categorized. We have the social networking sites like Facebook. We have the video sharing platforms. We have the message and discussion platforms like WhatsApp. So it depends on the interest, even the video sharing and the media sharing. YouTube is there, TikTok. Now, most of the challenges or the danger of this social media website comes from, one, the new trend, TikTok. Because most people turn to be attached onto TikTok. Why? More than Facebook. Because TikTok deals more with videos. It's a video sharing platform, TikTok and YouTube. Now with TikTok, people know that they can create short content and put online. And the most of the short contents put online are, as you earlier said, content of sexual deviations. Because we find girls, and there is a trend today, if a woman does not expose her body to the public, then nothing is happening. So the fact that that concept has been that which captivates the youth, both boys and girls. Now, okay, to create the content and put online, to have more views and more like, you need to do something that exposes your pubic hairs or public private parts. So the first is TikTok, and the danger in that light is because there is an uncontrolled content which is being put online, meaning and more youth have the facilities of accessing these video sharing platforms. I believe TikTok is more exposed than YouTube, because YouTube even have some controls. They can, while putting a video online, they can ask whether it is meant for kids or not, and there is also a good number of checks before the video goes online. Apart from TikTok, we have WhatsApp and even Facebook, because those are the platforms, the social media platforms that youths are more exposed to and can easily create. Despite the fact that it is at that juncture, we cannot deny that it is a double-edged sword, which makes us use it positively or negatively. Now it depends on how we use and the interest. So most youths today, especially at the school levels, when we go back to the younger youth, we realize that they are more moved by fake news and fake role models in the society. Why? Because they want to meet up to this person. They want to meet up to this category of persons to be like. So I always term it the concept of followism. So it's the concept of followism that makes the youth to want to get attached to the negative social media site, not even the positive, because there are good positive social media sites or platforms that can help in education, in permitting the students to go through self-examination and evaluation back at home.
Prof. Jerry, are the abuses you observe out there almost the same or similar to those that you observe when you are back here? I mean, is it different in the developed world from what is happening in developing countries?
Not really, because like my learned friend over there said, Ernest, it's a global platform. Look at the acronym WWW, World Wide Web. You could be in China and you're accessing content produced right here in Yaoundé. You could be in the US and access content produced somewhere in Yaoundé. So because it's global, the crimes are similar. It's just the extent to which the crimes are committed. The one thing I also want to, as an educator and an innovator and someone who's been in the industry, I would also, the reason I want to be in Cameroon is, why don't we create the next WhatsApp for Cameroon?
We shall get there. But for now, I want to know about the content. What is that content that irritates you and you think is so bad for the community and for the image of the country, the image of individuals and communities? Give me an example. About 2 weeks or so ago, we had, during the Youth Week, this disturbing video from Oja, the Adventist school, where all of us know what happened, where the child was found herself in intimacy with about 10 other boys and those. I mean, what is the content that is really disturbing?
It goes from pornography, scams, the 419, extortion, the romance scams, and the finance scams. But as an educator, the one thing I've noticed, and a teacher in this space, there's always two to tango. Every time somebody is sitting at home in their bedroom and they get one of those messages that looks too good to be true, they click on it. You've just started the game. And especially in the romance scams, today there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of broken relationships, and people are looking for that quick fix. So it starts out as romance scams. Next thing you know, there's extortion. And then the 419, which is the financial aspects of it, people sit at home and someone say, you can get a scholarship to study abroad. You can get free money. Well, the old adage, there ain't no free lunch. So the romance scam and the 419 is something that I take very, heartily, because it really affects not just the youth, but also the elderly. But coming back to this scams, I always try to tell my students, when you're doing something online, use common sense. Is this something you'll be proud to show your mother? Such that when you have this content and your mother was to see it, how would you respond? And a lot of students, when I put that in front of them, I think it clicks. Because as a culture in our Cameroon, we respect and we revere our moms. So we educate the students to ensure that they are cognizant of the scams, they're cognizant of the risk of being in social media space. We can also say it is at a point where the train has left the station. We cannot stop it. But we can use what we have learned over the last 10 years to create a better platform, to create a system where there will be less activities of badness.
Now, Ernest, we have seen stories of influencers. I remember in Mali or Burkina Faso, where the head of state said, if you go naked. Now, when somebody says an influencer or a young man sits in the room and shares that type of video, what do you expect to benefit? Is there any financial remuneration to it, or is it just popularity?
MOKI, I want to say this new form of communication, which is the internet with the social media platforms, is a novelty which I think, as Professor did say, it needs a lot of education.
No, answer my question.
Yeah, I'm coming to your question, MOKI.
Don't go to your conclusion yet.
I'm coming to your question. So much so that people, I want to say, at times are ignorant of all of what they are doing. Because when somebody says he or she is an influencer, are you a negative influencer or a positive influencer? You should think about it. When you say you are influencing a certain category of people in the society, are you taking them to the right direction or to the wrong direction? So when all of such things come up, I think the person needs some cheap popularity. Yes, cheap popularity. And I want to equally say social media is all about sensationalism. Because people, I were the first to put this on social media, and the people have bought the idea, they are just following. So the influencers, at times, I've often posed the question as per, how did that terminology come about? Because when I look at some of them, like the case in point you're talking about, it beats my imagination. Like I watched a recent one, I wouldn't want to allude to it because so those influencers at times, they are misleading in the sense that the young population, Professor did say it again, he's an expert in the field, the young population, they just embrace the social media without knowing the pros and cons of the social media. They don't know, is this information we are getting, we are sharing, what are the effects of this information? You see, young boys and girls, they go to school, they organize a party and do all of what they want to do there, and then they put it on social media. For them, they think it's good. They want to show how popular they are, whereas it is too detrimental, too consequential to the society.
Madam, I'm still asking this question. What do the young ones, when you teach them, they tell you they're posting these videos, sharing these videos, going to scamming sites and so on. Are there some financial benefits? I mean, when a student you're teaching goes to deceive others online for financial reasons, do they really succeed? Have they been telling you they succeed? And how do you go about it? What are the benefits they have from it?
Yeah, you know, the students won't tell us. When they go to commit crimes, they won't tell us. You know, a thief, even when you catch a thief red-handed with a phone, you say, no, I did not steal it. I wanted to see a photo. The students will not come out to tell us that they have succeeded. But most of the time, we realize that they have failed. Only when a station comes up, for example, they start by playing normal Jambo in school, these lucky games and all of that. You only get a report when one has decided to punch another one or to go to an extreme. That's where you get a report. But when they play their games, like online, some of them say they are doing whether it's Bitcoin, whatever, they gain money. They share those stories among their peers. They won't come back to us administrators or teachers to tell us that. Neither would they tell their parents at home. But you can eavesdrop them. You see a group of them somewhere, you suspect them, and you follow up. Some of them claim to have succeeded. I remember 2 days ago, I was sitting in my office and I heard 3 students talking. No telephone could usually code sang meal. I stretched my head outside and I saw 3 tiny boys. Shortly after that, I saw one of them coming out from the principal's office. And I heard a story of a phone that was stolen at the Lac Municipal, and that little boy had to go to Brick and bring back that telephone. So you can imagine the kind of things these students will do. You only know when you have caught them. But that they'll come up to you to tell you that no, they're playing games online, they've been initiated. Some of those things, they get involved without even knowing. Like when they go to Facebook or they go online and they click the wrong platform. There's some of the where they learn how to watch pornography, and they try to practice some of those things. They won't come to tell you that it is because of this pornography film that I watched that I was able to chat this girl and she fell and went and did this. It's only when it comes to the situation becomes out of hand, and then you catch them and you're doing investigations. That's when they may reveal. Some of them will tell you, truly, madam, I played the other day and I won 500 francs and all of that. But until a situation comes up, they will not come up freely to come and tell you that they are playing games online and they are winning money.
I know Prof. Jerry and Nalionge may answer this. I mean, why do they have some benefits? Some time ago, we had reports from Bafusam, which indicated that a child was found with money at home. She was trying to, initiated into a sect. Those things, they sound abstract. So how would you be initiated using a phone and you start getting financial benefit and then the consequences thereafter?
Mr. MOKI, just to clue onto that, it is dualistic in nature. We have both the physical and the metaphysical benefits. When we talk of influencing is instigating or getting into a modification of conduct. Now, those who influence, they want those who are watching them to look at them from another perspective of positivism. And when they go online, anybody who puts something, a content, that is how they call it in the social media world, a content, there is no other thing than benefits. Now, with the advent of capitalism in our African society over collectivism, what happens? There is a mad rush for money, mad rush for affluence in Africa, in Cameroon, for instance, following our socio-economic and political challenges or quagmire. Now, youth don't have that zeal, that desire to make it following the normal path. As you, because I'm here, I believe I'm the youngest here, and the way you people went through life and made it, youths are not patient. They want to make it very fast. So any content put on social media, for instance, on YouTube, the number of likes you have produces money. The number of views you have produces money. The number of comments attracts people to be attached onto, like there's a tag. Why is it that so many persons are watching this video? For instance, when you take the aspect of Balthazar in Equatorial Guinea, I like to say it was both metaphysical and physical. Why? Because why is it that at a particular point in time, a set of videos went viral? For how many years were those videos taken? And why did it go out at a particular point in time? It could be maybe to deviate a political focus, or it could be as a result of trying to create an impression or try to bring out one or two things. That is physical. The one or two things is to put money in the pocket. We have so many influencers in Cameroon, those some who have passed away, like Cabral Nanje, for instance. Everything they do, they make short, because the content you also put online, it should not be too long, boring for people not to watch. We take even the case in Nigeria or Cameroon, you will see most actors and actresses who have become popular because of the content they put online. So it is for economic benefits physically. Now, metaphysically, everything that happens in the physical has been prepared in the spiritual. About youths, some of them get into it blindly because there is a difference between looking and seeing. When you see, you don't put a focus onto something, but when you look, you are putting all your attention, both your psychosomatic being. When we picture the way the roof is being set up, the cables that passes in our roof, the human brain is formed as such, which scientists call neuroplasticity. It means anything that the human brain conceives, sees, or looks, focuses on it, it catches attention, and you tend to always want to watch. And the more you watch, metaphysically, you could be tempted to want to do like the others. So it has both physical and metaphysical benefits.
Let me go to a scientist, a pure scientist, Professor Jerry Yonga. Are you seeing some metaphysical issues in this mad rush to the internet, or is only physical benefits that people have? And how they compensated? He's trying to say here that the number of likes may generate money. How possible is that?
Yes, as an educator, I want to say it's physical and metaphysical, as my friends have said, and there's money to be made on social media. We can take, for instance, musicians who post short videos and play short music. If you take there were a lot of musicians from my days that played in the local bars, and their music never made it out there. But today, you can put out short content. I can also say, I am also in that space as someone who is interested to make money, because I publish books. So as a blogger and a vlogger, using social media, I've been able to make residual income. But the one problem I see with our young people today, they don't want to do the work. They want quick and easy money. So as an author, I write books and I also blog. Every week, I publish at least 3 articles in the space of cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and software engineering. So the more people read my books, the more they know that I'm an expert in this industry.
They buy the books.
They buy the books.
But these short videos are not for sale.
The short videos are not for sale, but like he said, the more likes I get, the more tags, the likes, and more thumbs up, the more people write. And then I also manipulate the content. And what do I do? How do I do that? I do that by bringing in celebrities. So when I write a blog, I can put in some content. Like right now in the US, we had a situation where Elon Musk had access to government data. So I write about that, not in the context of political, but the context of risk of our privacy, having individuals who have not been vetted getting access to that information. But as a blogger, and I want people to read my content, I also put the face of Elon Musk in my blog and a couple of quotes as to what he said.
Start liking. But who pays that you raise money from it?
In my case, I can speak for my case.
Because you sell books. I'm talking about these young people who just put the content you're talking about. And Ernest and Nalionge are saying they make money. How do they do it?
We make money through the advertisers.
Okay, when you have many likes, advertising agencies come out to you and pay you for it.
Because we are bringing in viewers, eyeballs on their site. So I get compensation through Amazon. I get compensation through YouTube. I get compensation through Facebook. But it takes a lot of work. I've been accused sometimes by my students that what time do you sleep? It's because when people are sleeping in Cameroon, before in the US are awake, you push content. So this is a full-time job. And if we get a group of students that are willing to do the work, they can become millionaires on social media.
That's the positive aspect of it.
Yes.
Now, Ernest, AKUOFOU, we have seen content on social media, a DO, a commissioner, sharing nude or receiving a call and sharing. Are those possible things that are done? And why would people be doing those type of things?
MOKI, I did say the advent of
a man who is whom how would you sit because you have been asked to send a nude picture and you? Is it a trust people have, or is it just a matter of illiteracy?
It's not a trust. You know, I said at the beginning that this is a new form of communication which people do not yet know how to use, and it will demand that there should be a lot of education, because it is very worrying and very disturbing when somebody posts a picture of you, a nude picture of you. Well, it's like,
maybe my question is not, you're not understanding yet. The Okok and Vokada video was not posted by, allegedly, by some other person. It was posted by the lady of, I saw the reports today on TV.
Yes, thank you very much for that clarification. I want to say, that lady, by posting it, as my co-panelists did talk of the metaphysical and the physical. I want to believe that she was not doing that out of the right senses, because MOKI, you don't take me, I do that, then I put it on social media with my right senses. I don't want to believe that. So that's where the metaphysical comes in now, because you are being controlled by external forces, not the forces within you. External forces are controlling you, and at one point in time, I want to think that you are doing that out of the fact that you had some pre-arrangements with some people somewhere, and you have not met up
the
conditions under which you're supposed to have acted. Because suppose they went into a contract that every week that lady supposed to have given, let's say, 200, 300,000. Then suddenly she says, no, business is not flourishing, I can only give 10. You've breached the contract. And when you breach the contract, what does the other party do? The other party is forced to abrogate the contract. And you see, I want to believe that is just all of what happened in the pictures we just watched on the news this evening. So, Emelda and MOKI, we need a lot of education as far as these new information and communication technology tools are concerned, because as Professor was rightly saying, they were created for people to learn, to innovate, to make money. But it's rather unfortunate. Some people, they just use it in the opposite direction. They don't even know what Professor is talking about. Thank God he's there to teach people on that.
Madam, how do you control children? I mean, we have spoken about the bad aspects of it. We know the good aspects. Chad, for instance, has decided that no child goes to school with a telephone. How do you control it at the level of your school? Because you talk about it, you complain about it, and I don't really say you need to do e-learning.
Yeah, that's true. At the level of the school rules and regulations, the internal rules and regulations prescribe bringing our phones into school. Yes, the students might have phones at home, even though gradually we're trying to stop the use of phones, because we realize that the students are more inclined to using phones for negative aspects rather than for learning. So what we do in my school, for example, we control the students at the gate each day. Every day we have a roster where administrators stand at the entrances. The two entrances to LBA, GBPHS, Yaoundé. So while the students come into school, the guards, discipline masters, and vice principals are searching their bags.
How many bags can you search in 7,000 students?
We search all the bags. We search all the bags. And like, for example, last Thursday, we ready the classes. We go into classes. We try our best to make sure that students don't bring. And you know the tendency is that when students bring phones to school, they will be tempted to use them. It's true, we may not catch all the phones that they bring to school. But once we catch you with a phone, we seize the phone.
What reaction do you get from the parents?
Yeah, that's
are they aware that the children have phones?
That is very good. In fact, without calling names, there are some parents who are not aware that their children have phones. Some of the phones are bought by their boyfriends. especially for the phones for the girls. And some of the boys buy their phone. Like I was telling you about the story of three little boy twats standing by my office and talk about the my telephone code saying sang meal. I looked at myself and I tried to see who was talking. The uniform was not even.
Maybe she has not paid
yes. So what we do is that when we search their bags, we seize the phones at the end. And once we seize the phones, following the ministerial text, we only return the phones at the end of the academic year.
And the parents, when they learn about it.
Now we summon the parents. Once a phone is seized from a student, the parents are summoned. Yes, and when the parents come, some of them come and tell lies that they once bought the phones for the children. And we wonder whether they know the content, because we ask the students to open the phones. They open the phones and you see the content, you cry. Some of the parents come and they acknowledged that, for example, they are not aware that the children have phones. They didn't buy any phone for the child. They don't even have phones themselves. They have a choronko. They put it in quotes. So those parents who collaborate with the school administration, we try to bring the students to order. But some of them come and, for fear of maybe having problem with their children at home, they lie that the ones who bought. For example, I don't want to call names. The last week there was a parent in school looking for the daughter who decided to leave the house. We call it got missing. And earlier on, a district master was telling me that father, you see, he's ashamed now to come. He came and told us that he's the one who bought the phone for the child. And because he's an administrator, a school administrator elsewhere, they had to consider him. But now the child had to be using another phone which he was not aware. So we make sure that at our own level, we communicate with the parents and stop the use of phones in school. And we also tell students, in schools we have honest children. Those who are not involved, who come to school to really genuinely learn, they come and report, anonymous reports. We have suggestion box all over the school. If you see a student in your class with a phone, write it here. Put the name of someone, but don't put your own name. We do our own investigation.
Nalionge, how can they transform this deviant usage to make it more positive?
Yes, as an educationist and someone in the milieu, for students, the best way, as we all know, is through education. That is digital education, for them to transform a positive. But as Ma was saying, from experience, the little experience I have, most of the parents that we are the devil's advocates, because we don't want to help the learners use their digital tools positively. Since the advent of COVID, 2020, when the Minister of Secondary Education came up with distance learning, I was one of the first, in fact, I was the first Cameroonian philosopher to have recorded a lesson on philosophy. It was very tedious. And how did I get into it? It was because the national inspector saw I mounted a lesson on PowerPoint, shared to my students on WhatsApp, and asked the parents to give to them. And when my inspector saw it, he called me and I went to the imposter. That was how we started. It wasn't easy. So how can we transform this? It is for us, together with the parents and genuine parents, because, well, the truth is that not everybody is meant to be called a parent today. Because I will be very categorical.
I'm not the advocate, but some of these parents, the children dribble them on the phone. You take the phone, you cannot even open it.
Exactly. So
why would you blame?
No, I'm not categorical. I'm just saying some. I'm saying some. For instance, my daughter was in Opsif. That don't have a phone. They know my policy. All those who are in secondary school, you have a phone. The day you pass your GC, I go with you to the shop. You take any phone you want. So when we have policies with the children back at home, we can canalize it very well with the digital lessons. I have the lessons in my machine. At times I put behind the screen, my flat screen. We watch it together. Anything you want, you ask, I get, I print, I bring to you, and you follow it up. Believe you me, if we transform these digital tools, maybe the issue of phones, as we're talking positively, we are going to meet up with the expectations of the Ministry of Secondary Education. But if we defend them negatively, we are going to cry at the end. Now, let me say something onto what Pa was saying and Pa AKUOFOU here. The eyes, we know sexuality in our society today, alongside with phones, are the two evils, rapidly growing evils. Now, yesterday, I mounted a quiz for my opposite students on a Socrative app. 15 questions on, that should be negritude. And I forwarded to the parents group and I asked them to I forwarded to the students group, because as we have a WhatsApp group where if there's any content positive for them to follow back at home during their reading periods, they can answer questions. So I forwarded. Out of 20 students, both lower side and opposite, offering philosophy, checking today, only 2 students did that, answered the questions. Now, if I turn it the other way around, if I had put a captive of if the vulva area of a woman, or we'll talk of the labia minora and labia majora on the video, on the image, any youth or a student looking at the vulva area of a woman would have been tempted to go and click that link. Clicking the link, opening and seeing that it is a quiz, the child will easily answer. Now, what am I trying to say?
So you can use them to have...
Now, what am I trying to say? Students,
say that?
youth, no, I'm just saying that is what we find today with the content, the videos. If you have not noticed, most of the videos on TikTok, there's a trend going around. Guys, boys or girls putting a phone and trying to snap the vulva area of a woman, and whatever when they will see maybe one or two scenarios moving. That is what the society knows, that okay, this is what we captivate. So the earlier, as we are dealing with children, youth, the earlier we know that their training is better. Because if you fail to train your child back at home, the society will train it negatively. The earlier we do our best to transform these digital tools and make some restrictions and canalize or control them better for the future, then the better for us. If we sleep, then destiny or nature, metaphysically, I repeat, will have to seize our children from us.
Prof. Jerry, I read that 334,000 security breach exploits were recorded in Cameroon, a staggering 91% increase from last year. Most of these are educated youths. They have gone to school, they're jobless. Can you not transform their ingenuity from maybe committing crimes, stealing from people's bank accounts? I mean, make it positive. How would you tell those young ones, they're asking, that please stay at home, don't commit crimes in cyberspace when they're unemployed and want to eat and hungry?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mr. Muki. The one thing I also want to say is social media, we make money whether it's good content or bad content, however you define bad. One aspect of that, I'll give you an example. What we call fake news. Social media has changed the face of journalism. And I'm speaking to a journalist here, as you well know. Today, you can publish a very genuine article, very well researched, with extremely qualified reporters. I can take that same article, change it into negative content, and people will read mine.
Deep fake
news. And it continues to baffle me how people are consuming this fake news, but the advertisers are willing to pay, because there's an advertiser out there willing to pay money for fake news. The other thing I also want to mention, with us talking about parents this game is a cat and mouse game. There's a whole world out there called the dark web. Google has it, Facebook, that does not track your history of places you've been. Google calls it incognito login. When you go incognito, you're dealing with some nefarious, bad people. But there are advertisers that are willing to pay for that. And so we have to continuously work on educating our children on the good side of the social media landscape. But as far as it is today, Mark Zuckerberg is not a billionaire because of all good content. No different from Microsoft with Bill Gates or Elon Musk. The more negative news, the more fake news they publish, the more money they make. I live in Silicon Valley, I work in Silicon Valley, and you talk about the data breaches that have occurred in Cameroon. That is happening every day in Silicon Valley. That's the number of daily breaches. And because people see the positiveness in putting out data breaches, and I also teach ethical hacking, how we can. So it's like we teach how we can stop the bad guys, but to be able to teach that subject, you yourself have to be a bad guy mindset. So it's a double-edged sword.
Now, before we take a break, just briefly, are some countries just allowing these things to go? Is there no way countries can decide, okay, we're stopping content from these people? That's been detrimental, it's dangerous for our young ones, we're going to stop it immediately. China, or stop Facebook? One moment, I don't know if it's still open now.
The train, like I said, has left the station. We have to continuously educate and ameliorate the various tools we use to capture some of these negative sides and shut them down. I know we may not touch on this tonight on a different topic. If we think it's bad today, wait until we introduce AI, artificial intelligence, into the mix. It will get even worse. So we are just at the cusp of this badness.
If you're just joining us, you're watching Twilight on CRTV News. The topic of discussion is social media, platform for opportunities or breeding ground for deviant behavior. Professor Jerry YONGA is Dean of Information Communications and Computer Engineering, Yaoundé International Business School. KIMBI Emelda NCHITU is Vice Principal of GBPHS Yaoundé. Ernest AKUOFOU is Coordinator of Public Relations and Corporations at ICT University. Nalionge Maxmillianus Ewoko is Educationist, Researcher and Principal here in Yaoundé. We're taking a break, and when we come back, we shall be taking our take-home message.
Ce jour, j'étais la première victime à manger ça. Oui. Donc tout ce qu'elle faisait, elle mettait toujours les urines à l'intérieur. D'après, quand les gars du quartier avaient cassé, on avait trouvé les bouteilles d'urine sous le comptoir.
Mettre les condiments. Chaque jour, la même chose. La tasse, tu vois, la tasse, c'est fade. C'est fade. Elle te dit qu'elle met 4 cuillères de lait alors qu'elle ne mettait même pas. Moi, je suis allée à l'hôpital. J'ai eu les absents, on m'a dit infection bactérienne. Je sortais tout avec ça.
Les pratiques mystiques sont parfois utilisées par certains commerçants pour attirer des clients. Une croyance qui semble récurrente dans le milieu commercial. En fonction de leurs objectifs, ces pratiques sont recherchées pour favoriser la prospérité, assurer une protection, purifier leur environnement ou tout simplement accroître leur compétitivité dans le commerce.
Aujourd'hui, de plus en plus, les Camerounais se disent que pour faire marcher quoi que ce soit, il faut faire recours à des pratiques peu orthodoxes. Alors, peut-être c'est les influences des marabouts, peut-être c'est les influences des charlatans.
Des commerçants qui peuvent rencontrer des difficultés à écouler leurs marchandises, tandis que chez un voisin, les clients affluent. Cela également pousse certains commerçants moins sollicités à douter et à recourir aux services d'un voyant pour améliorer leur situation.
Tout ça, c'est toujours dans l'idée d'avoir la part du gain, d'avoir plus d'argent, de gagner beaucoup, de gagner très vite.
Cependant, les pratiques mystiques, bien qu'ancrées dans certaines croyances, n'ont aucune preuve tangible ni données statistiques qui les valident. Pourtant, ceux qui y ont recours se retrouvent souvent contraints de consentir à de lourds sacrifices.
Il est urgent aujourd'hui, vraiment, que chacun de nous, à son niveau, se sente responsable de ce qui est en train d'arriver au Cameroun. Parce que si on est capable à ce niveau de faire ça, c'est ce que nous avons vu.
Selon les experts, les voies les plus fiables pour améliorer les recettes d'un commerçant restent le marketing et la publicité, des outils éprouvés pour attirer une clientèle plus large et renforcer la compétitivité sur le marché.
Homopathie maligne et tumeurs solides, voilà les deux catégories de cancers pédiatriques dans le monde.
Dans les hémopathies malignes, on fait référence aux leucémies, aux lymphomes. Dans les tumeurs solides, on évoque les neuroblastomes, les néphroblastomes, ce qu'on appelle ostéosarcome, les tumeurs osseuses, pour ne citer que cela.
De manière générale, le cancer de l'enfant est dit rare. Il ne représente que 3 à 4% des cancers dans le monde. Une rareté que les spécialistes préfèrent prendre avec des pincettes.
Dans notre condition, ce cancer-là touche les enfants qui ont beaucoup plus moins de 5 ans. Et nous savons qu'au Cameroun, la population la plus représentée est celle qui est située entre 0 et 19 ans et les enfants sont plus atteints.
Dans le classement national des cancers chez l'enfant, les hémopathies malignes arrivent en tête de liste.
Le lymphome de Burkitt est le chef de file. Après lui, nous avons les leucémies. Sur 7 ans, de 2016 à 2022, on a fait des statistiques qui ont révélé 765 nouveaux cas. Donc vous comprenez que 765 nouveaux cas avec le lymphome de Burkitt qui était devant avec 26%. Nous nous rendons compte que plus le temps passe, plus les cancers de l'enfant sont représentés, peut-être parce que les technologies ont avancé.
Après chimiothérapie, chirurgie et autres prises en charge, les chiffres sont décevants. À peine les 40% de taux de guérison pour cause un diagnostic tardif.
Le cancer infantile est de plus en plus enregistré au Cameroun. Selon les statistiques de l'Organisation mondiale de la santé, cette maladie est la deuxième cause de mortalité chez les enfants âgés de 0 à 14 ans. Pour baisser l'incidence, le Cameroun dispose d'un plateau technique, notamment d'un centre de cancérologie pédiatrique.
Chaque cancer, à chaque stade, a un protocole. Donc la première des choses qui est importante, c'est de poser au diagnostic de cancer. Et la deuxième des choses, c'est de savoir l'extension de la maladie. Et à partir de ça, on va déterminer quel est le protocole qui peut aller et avec des médicaments.
Les protocoles de prise en charge du cancer des enfants au Cameroun sont basés sur les recommandations de l'OMS.
On ne traite pas le cancer n'importe où. On n'a que 2 centres au Cameroun. On a le centre mère enfant, la fondation Chantal Biya et le Bingo Baptist Hospital à Bamenda.
La prise en charge du cancer des enfants au Cameroun est un défi important qui nécessite une attention particulière. Il est essentiel de renforcer les capacités des professionnels de la santé, d'améliorer l'accès au traitement et de sensibiliser la population sur cette pathologie afin d'améliorer leur prise en charge.
Imaginez pouvoir illuminer votre maison grâce à l'eau qui coule à quelques mètres de votre porte. Ce rêve devient réalité avec une turbine hydroélectrique fabriquée localement. Une prouesse d'ingéniosité exposée au Salon des sciences, technologies et innovations environnementales pour le développement. Un rendez-vous qui place l'entrepreneuriat écologique au cœur du progrès.
Quand l'eau arrive au niveau des pales de turbine, ça fait tourner. On va associer à ça un alternateur qui va délivrer du courant continu. Et en utilisant une convertisseur, on pourra délivrer du 220 volts qui peut être utilisé par des familles.
Cet événement se veut un laboratoire d'idées pour répondre aux défis environnementaux et économiques du bassin du Congo qui fait face à des enjeux majeurs liés à l'accès à l'énergie, la gestion durable des ressources et de la modernisation de la culture.
C'est l'investissement intellectuel, c'est l'investissement dans la recherche, c'est l'investissement dans l'innovation. Il faut apporter des solutions concrètes aux gens, aux populations rurales, pour qu'elles puissent améliorer la productivité agricole.
Entre start-up audacieuses et inventions révolutionnaires, le public est invité à découvrir comment la science et la créativité peuvent réinventer notre rapport à l'énergie, à la nature et à l'économie.
Nous comptons augmenter notre marketing, donc implémenter nos stratégies marketing, augmenter aussi notre production. C'est vrai, la matière première devient de plus en plus chère dans nos champs. Donc nous comptons pouvoir acheter plus de matières premières et produire encore plus pour notre clientèle.
Nous faisons dans la transformation du poisson en saucisson de poisson, en farine et en huile de poisson. Dans le cadre de ce projet, nous avons reçu l'an passé 1 400 000 et cette année nous avons reçu comme financement incitatif 350 000. Et cet argent va renforcer la communication parce que l'année passée on a commencé également la communication, renforcer la communication pour permettre à tout le monde de connaître notre produit parce que notre produit est nouveau et très inconnu par la population camerounaise.
Très bonne nouvelle pour les chrétiens catholiques de la ville de Bertois et ses environs. L'ouverture du sanctuaire Notre-Dame de la Bonne Santé de Nganké est un lieu de soulagement des douleurs de toutes sortes, une bénédiction pour les malades d'ici et d'ailleurs. L'inauguration officielle de ce lieu sacré a donné lieu à une messe pontificale présidée par Monseigneur Joseph Atanga.
Ce sanctuaire que nous dédions à Notre-Dame de la Bonne Santé sera un lieu où beaucoup de malades, non seulement ceux qui sont malades dans leur corps, mais ceux aussi qui sont malades dans leur esprit, ils viendront demander à la Vierge de leur donner la santé.
Plusieurs activités ont marqué la célébration de la clôture diocésaine du Jubilé des malades, notamment le chemin de croix, symbole de la fin de la souffrance, une souffrance que Jésus-Christ a vaincue sur la croix. L'Église catholique de Berthois et ses membres entendent réaliser plusieurs autres projets autour de ce sanctuaire.
D'autres structures vont suivre, notamment la construction d'un centre d'accueil, d'un centre de santé, d'une école.
Des projets qui démontrent de l'engagement de l'Église à subvenir aux besoins primaires de leur communauté. Il faut dire que le sanctuaire Notre-Dame de la Bonne Santé est le tout premier du genre au Cameroun et en Afrique centrale.
Thanks for watching Twilight. Ernest AKUOFOU, what can we say the take-home message? Apparently you are for the fact that telephones should be used in school despite the challenges we have.
Yes, MOKI, the challenges are there, no doubt. Professor YONGA did say that the train has left the station. And any train, when a train leaves the station, it doesn't return. It gets to its final destination before they can put another locomotive for it to come back. I want to say this. The National Agency for Information Communication Technology, ANTIC, is there. That is a means by which controls could be done. I want to justify why I say telephones should be used in school. Students should use telephones. Africa missed out on the Industrial Revolution. And I don't think we should miss out on the digital revolution. I go back to Professor Jerry again. He did say when the AI will come to act on it, it will be catastrophic. So do we wait on the artificial intelligence to come and act on this, and then it becomes catastrophic, or we begin to build from down while AI is already there as we talk? So we must be very careful. Professor said something very important. The train has left the station. We can't stop it until it gets to its destination. The long thing is, at the rails.
That's an accident.
No, at the rails unperturbed. Yes, at the rails free from any derailment. That is the lone thing I think we could do. And ANTIC should be the one to step in.
Nalionge seems not to be agreeing with you.
Well, I categorically cannot agree with...
like an educationist.
Exactly. The thought is we need to develop measures, because at one point in time there are some things we cannot stop. We need to develop measures. But whatever be the case, we are still in Africa with our cultural values, with our traditional inclination, and with our focus. And we cannot pretend that our generation or our ontology in Africa can merge or match with the ontology and cosmology of the West. Why? Because we are not in the same periphery or the same world. Now the only thing is to make the learners understand the deviance in practicing all this, and for them to know that whatever be the case, irrespective of the duration of the rain will have to stop. And if we don't measure what we do today, it is going to come back to us in 10,000 fold. So yes, I am not for the fact that they should use phones in schools, because our students are not digitally ready in terms of education for them to be using them in school.
But then that should be the same thing everywhere, because Prof is saying it's not only here in Africa.
It's not only here.
Do you agree, madam?
No, I agree with Nalionge that phones should not be used in school. That train will stop, whether the train has taken off or not. The train will stop, yes. If it means that the Mount Cameroon should come down and block that train, it will stop. And we'll look for a means to make that train to go back. Why do I say so? the use of phones. Minister Professor Nalionge keeps on talking about digitalization, which has come to stay. Let me tell you, let us be frank, we are all parents before being teachers. Go to your children's phone at home, even those who are in the university who have the freedom now to use the phone, and see whether 90% of the time they spend on the phone is for studies or for deviant activities. We have observed that in schools. We have seen that the use of phones in school is a means of disturbing the students from learning properly. Take time, discuss with your children. Feel free just to talk with your children at home. How much time do you spend on WhatsApp, TikTok, and how much time do you spend on doing research with their phones, even at home? And we will not give up. We'll keep on talking and educating children about the benefits of social media and about the use of the phone for studies. There's time for everything. And that going astray, following deviant behavior will not help them in any way. But to say that they use phones in school, no. We have timetable in school where we have each subject for 50 minutes, 55 minutes, so the students will have come and study.
I think you also reveal that they should not use phones at school.
Well, I come from a different view on this because I've been in the industry since 1983, and I can say categorically, we're talking about technology. We're not talking about some other social, things. So, Mr. MOKI, I'll give you 3 examples of my experience in technology. Bill Gates was the first hacker. He gave us Microsoft DOS, disk operating system, and we used it. And I use it, I don't tell you, you use it, you don't tell him. And when we went to the industry, what did we do? We brought it with us. And we wrote programs. It was working. And our employers loved us. They paid us a lot of money. We evolved, and I've heard people say Bill Gates is the evil empire. Second, technological advancement, Y2K. For a lot of you, I've asked my students, they don't know what Y2K is. I created some of those programs. We evolved. A lot of people thought Y2K, which is year 2000, was going to be the end of the world. It did not bring the world to an end. Thirdly, I was also in a room when a small company called Google in 1996 came and talked to us, and we laughed at them. And we said, we can't even pronounce your name. You young people, you're from California, you're coming here to tell us what? Well, let's just say Google is still a small company. We can take that as a joke. And then last but not the least, when we talk about phones, the smartphone is one of the most employment tools we can put in a student's hand. With that smartphone, this child is able to gain jobs with the right education. Because we have seen, I have used it. And by the way, I'll do a shameless plug of my book, Cybersecurity Fundamentals.
Let me see the book here. Okay, thank you. This is your book, Prof. I didn't know about it. Cybersecurity Fundamentals.
Yes.
Dr. Jerry Yonga, he was still a doctor but then professor now. Comprehensive Guide to Understanding Digital Security.
Correct. So, thank you for that. So, my role is to publish books, show students, like we're doing at the Yaoundé Institute, to use the social media to generate employment. My next book that will be published and written in Cameroon, we already have a student that I met 2 months ago, and she's going to be a co-author. So to me, it's a positive journey. I know there are bad things out there, but if we focus on the positive side, we have a bright future.
Now, gentlemen, we have barely 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes each. I'm starting with you, the ICT man, the ICT guy. What's the take-home message?
Well, take-home message, social media, necessary evil. Because from it we learn, from it we chat, from it we create, we socialize, from it we create employment, from it very many things are acquired. Because when you come like at NCHITU University, where people get acquainted to these social media things, the ICT tools, we teach our students. That's why you see I brought up that idea. We cannot dissociate the students from their handsets, as Professor Ernest Obai. So at the ICT, we teach students the usage of these tools. That's why you see we stand for the usage of these tools, because Africa missed out on the Industrial Revolution. We can't miss out on the technological evolution today. So my take-home message is, we need to know that the social media is important, despite the fact that there are some deviances therein. But the advantages accruing from the social media are much more important than the deviances which are being created. The deviances can be limited, whereas the advantages, they keep accruing day in and day out.
You raise the issue of spiritual problems, but I'm sure you're praying also so that you know okay, Nalionge.
Yes, to me, social media is a double-edged sword, as I earlier said, and it is neither inherently good nor bad. It depends on how we use it, and I totally agree with Prof. Jerry that smartphones are the greatest tools. It is the greatest tool we can give or put in the hands of a youth today. Where Ma and I disagree, it is the usage in school, because a school is an arena of sapientia, the temple of knowledge with specific canons. So being used in school, it is creating other avenues of distraction. So I believe that it is both positive and negative depending on how we use it, and policymakers we try to see on how to canalize it. Now we know of Artuzang, we have good young guys, talented guys in Cameroon who are digital experts who can create things to ameliorate our living standards in Cameroon. So I think that my take-home message is, let all the experts come together and see on how to ameliorate our transport system, we have problems of electricity in Cameroon. So we can see or look into how to modify our living standard. But where we kick against are the respective social media platforms that others use to pull in vital forces from people, or distract our youth, our community from focusing into the advent of this digital revolution. And just to end, there is, to the youth watching us, there is what we call digital biography. Anything we do today in the world is recorded in space, in cloud. So we should be very careful with the type of content we post and the type of things or areas we get into, because at the end of the day, on the judgment day, the tribunal of history is going to judge us.
KIMBI, Emelda, and NCHITU, take home message.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. MOKI. I will end by talking to our youths, our students, and our parents and ourselves, that the social media has come to stay and is doing a lot of good. The good outweighs the evil. And it's just for us to moderate the way we use the social media. First, the social media is there for education, for entertainment, for relaxation, and many other things. If we are here today, it is thanks to social media. We could get this information through communication, through social media, without waste of time. And we're here talking to you people through social media. If we use social media for in positive ways, we are going to achieve greater things. Like our brother keeps saying that we miss the industrial revolution. We're not going to miss the digital era. So let's use our mobile phones, the apps that are in it positively, and we're going to see to go to places. Thank you very much for listening. And
I don't want to conclude this.
No, I'm not concluding. I'm just saying that I'm talking to the parents. That the parents have listened to a piece of advice to follow up their children at home, to use the telephones within given periods, and to use them for education. Thank you very much.
Next time you sit here and sit
now, I was talking to the parents and to the students.
When we started this program, you raised an issue I wanted to keep at the end, that we should create a Cameroonian of African WhatsApp.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
So that's the one reason, the beauty of my coming back to Cameroon. I know we want to take away the phones from the kids in school, but I want to create phones. So what we have done, or what I have done, I actually have purchased phones and laptops. So we're going to create a supercomputer center, what we call a white paper approach, where students are coming to my office, we sit around the table with the phone that I have given them, not to take home, and we are going to create apps. So within a short period of time, we're using this technology instead of depriving them from it. Now they have these tools available. At the end of the day, they stay with me. At the end of the next day, they come and they use it. Because I do believe, I'm a kid at one point in my life. If Dad always says, don't do it, at some point I'm going to try to do it. So the way I'm looking at this, Mr. MOKI, is if I have a room of 10 students with 10 laptops, 10 mobile smartphones, and I channel the conversation to be positive and we create apps, I can guarantee you by the end of this year, just like I've said, we've already created one book with a student. She's a very good poet. By the end of this year, you're going to see a Cameroon WhatsApp.
Where are you based now, Professor, since you came back?
The Yaoundé International Business School is based in Simbok, Carrefour Simbok. And we are creating this supercomputer center, which is, I am creating it with the funding from the school. But it's going to be a state-of-the-art where we have these tools available to the students so they don't feel like we are taking away something. We're taking away what you have, but we're giving you a laptop that works. You saw me here with my bag. I can show you one of the laptops.
We don't have time for that yet now, but next time we'll do. I want to thank you, Professor Jerry YONGA, for coming back home to share your experiences and help develop the young ones, giving back to your community. Thanks for always doing that.
Thank you.
And you see a future in ICTs.
Yes.
Many more advantages, many bad things, but the advantages will override the disadvantages.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to conclude by saying America took away my youth. They took away my maturity, but they will not take away my old age.
And thanks for coming to share with them. That's where we end today's Twilight on CRTV News. The theme, social media, the platform for opportunities or breeding ground for deviance. Our guest, Professor Jerry YONGA, Dean Information Communications and Computer Engineering, Yaoundé International Business School at Simbok. KIMBI, Emelda, and NCHITU, who is the Vice Principal of Government Bilingual Practicing High School, Yaoundé. Ernest, AKUOFOU, Coordinator Public Relations and Cooperations, ICT University. Nalionge, Maxmillianus, Ewoko, who is Educationist, Researcher, and Principal. Which school is that again?
Pinnacle of Success
Pinnacle of Success Academy. The name speaks for itself. I am MOKI. Edwin, KINDZEKA in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.